It's the same thing. Just like you're not this nervous. I don't believe it.
What's poppin'? This is the Hear Me Out podcast, Volume 3, Episode 21. We're back after a few month hiatus. I have Jordan with me. To my right, Jonte is here, who we all know, and we have Rhythm, who's our video editor, but jack of all trades. He's got a mic today. He's with us.
I don't know why you're.
Okay, this is tough. Okay, let me just chill and get it out. This is tough. We've recasted. We're back. Some things didn't work out the first time around. Some lessons were learned. I don't want to say too much and upset anyone, but we're here, and I'm glad to be back for real. This is exciting. This is probably mostly like good nerves that I have. I'm a little nervous, but I think it's good nerves. Like, I am happy to be back.
I think that's good. I think that shows like you actually, you want to do this.
Yeah.
It makes me want to come and do it. And I think everybody else is excited in turn of that, so it's good.
Jonte, what's up?
I feel great.
How are we? how are we feeling? You're the only one. You made it out through the fire. You're the only one.
Yeah, I did. It was a lot of ups and downs. It was a roller coaster.
A roller coaster?
It was.
It was a ride?
It was. It was fun. It was still fun, but it was a lot.
It was a lot. Look, it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. And there, like, behind the scene, like, nothing from the face of it, you could tell. But beneath the surface, you never know what's really popping, right? So there was a lot of tension, a lot of emotion. And to be honest, I think I want to leave it at that. No? It doesn't suffice?
I'm not here to say yes or no.
Okay.
Yeah, like I.
Okay,
Yeah.
so some of the older listeners, friends, they might be listening.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to know where their friends are.
Right.
Your friends are not here. I wish that things hadn't changed, but we are where we are now. Like, what can we do? Everyone picks up the pieces and they move on, right? We had decided to ask Aaron not to come back because I didn't feel, I'll just speak for myself. I didn't feel he had much to offer as far as like entertainment. So Aaron was cut out of the picture. Shortly after, it was between me, Kyle, and Jonte to move on with the podcast. And it's funny, we had a meeting, Jonte, and I said at this point, we just became more fragile or much stronger. And Kyle at that table, do you remember what he said? He said more fragile. I said, don't you dare speak that into existence. Because if I'm making this move, it's because I think it's going to make us stronger. But me and Kyle's relationship, if you know Kyle, then you know. And if you know me, then you know. But we dated in the past a while ago. And like that bled into what we were doing here with the podcast. And I knew better, but I did it anyways. I don't know why, even though I know I knew better. But yeah. I asked Kyle to post something on his Facebook, and he said I was ruining his life and to leave him alone, and that was him quitting the podcast. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't know. I really don't know what to say.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It sounds like you just gotten to that point. Um, and as being like, the head of what's going on here, I think, that's exactly how you feel regardless of what happens. So
Yeah, Jonte, where you talk? Jonte, talk, cause you was the only one here. It was awkward, right? We don't have to lie about that. It was an awkward situation.
Awkward isn't the word I would use because we was all cool.
Okay,
We all like got along for the most part.
okay.
I don't really have a lot to add to that, to be honest.
I'm only talking about dynamic. I don't need anything else. But I don't know. Maybe I felt like you guys felt it more. Like Aaron, for sure, he felt it. Aaron, before he left, he was often put in the middle. And you were often put in the middle to pick a side. And we're all on the same team.
Yeah, that's pretty much how
Yo,
the dynamic
I
was.
didn't
Talk about
even
it.
think about that.
talk about it.
It wasn't awkward though. That
Awkward is not the word. Okay, it might have been tense. For me, I have tense. I know I was tense. I felt like that's what we were projecting.
Okay.
I don't know
tense.
it made you feel, but I feel like that was our relationship. We're walking on eggshells with each other. I found out dude paid for a prostitute he cheated on me with on this podcast on this stage. You want to talk about it? I found out here. I'm sitting here and I'm doing a podcast. This is the shit. But I ruin lives, and we should not post top of the morning our podcast on Instagram. We should just do it at our leisure. And I'm crazy. Okay. I'm sure, but that's not fair. A lot of it just wasn't fair. Actually, I was very submissive when I should have been much fucking tougher. I think that was a problem. Everybody was made to feel extra comfortable because I made it that way, but maybe that was a mistake. It should have been more business than homie or ex-boyfriend. Like, what? I'm sorry, I don't know what I was doing.
It's just hard for me to like truly comment because like I'm even more so than anybody else here. I'm more of an outsider just looking into what happened. So like obviously like I'm not gonna put Jonte on the spot, but like he was.
Yeah,
here.
I'm sorry, Jonte, but
I mean, it just is what it is.
wasn't
Like it's just
here
hard. No, you weren't. I mean, so like, it's hard for me to like just say what's right and what's wrong. But like looking from the outside in, I mean, if that's how you felt, and that's your side of the story. Like, there's really not much more to it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you're like invalid in what you're saying, but if that's how you feel, then like that's what happened. The way I look at it, like I'm just unbiased about it. So
I don't know. I don't know. I can make excuses for excuses. I can make excuses like to defend the other person's perspective. Like for sure, there can be many cases made onto why why walk away. I get it. But I cared more about maintaining. Like, I don't know. I don't know. My head was in a different space. Like, I was thinking way long term, maybe, and they were like focused on what was happening
right.
in that moment. Me, I'm just trying to get going.
Cause I think you're thinking about this like in the long term, like in the scope of thinking, not just what's happening now. You're thinking whatever's happening, we can work it out. But in the long term, this is probably where I see things
Everything
going.
was so serious, Jonte. It was all so serious. In the beginning, we were having fun. Like before we started rolling cameras, the first 4 episodes when we used to drink a lot. We were a little wasted in that back room, no camera on us. It was so much fun. I don't know what changed when we moved out here. And I mentioned this, right? Like, did the podcast change when we came out here? When we turned on the cameras? Like, what happened? But
Cameras do make the dynamic different
Mm-hmm.
because it makes you more self-aware and self-conscious about how you look, what you're saying, all that.
That makes a lot of sense. So it actually might have added into it was probably not being expressed back there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, okay, so you have to also think, like, me and Kyle, we dated, right, for years.
Right.
We couldn't even remain friends. Before he came to be on this podcast, we hadn't talked for 2 years. I called Kyle like a couple nights before just to tell him what's going on. Like, I'm starting a podcast. What advice do you have?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, oh, I want to be on it. We're recording in 2 days. He was there, and
That was it,
that was it.
Damn.
There was we couldn't even maintain a friendship. I don't know how I thought this could work. But the best thing between me and Kyle was that we could talk. We had the same interests. We talked about music and that kind of thing. So it's like the best thing about us then is what could have benefited the podcast, but the other shit was still there. You can't, yeah. Shit is what it is. Would you do a podcast with your ex-girlfriend? How would that go?
That's really funny. With my current ex-girlfriend,
Jonte Rhythm, gentlemen.
You know what's funny is that like, I will say that with my current ex-girlfriend, when we would watch podcasts, we watched the Joe Budden podcast together, and we would talk about podcasts all the time together. Like literally, because we would just talk the shit. Because it got to a point where we were just unfiltered what we had to say to each other, and if we disagreed, for the most part, we can come to a conclusion like, all right, I just disagree with you. Maybe things get heated. We don't talk for like, whatever, 5-10 minutes. Like people in relationships know this. Like all the time, you don't have to get along or like agree with your person, and that's actually probably more healthy than people realize. Like having arguments and disagreements is healthy because you get to understand
their perspective. You're respecting their perspective.
Yeah, because I'm like I don't know, like I went to college for philosophy. I didn't end up majoring in that, but like I like to think on all sides of like the argument because it's never just one side. That's why when you tell your story and like how we got here, for me it's like, all right, I hear you, but like I wasn't here for it, so I'm just an outsider looking in and like one, like maybe just a bird's eye view, one type, but not necessarily wasn't in the room. But like I wouldn't, like with me and my ex-girlfriend, luckily like
she didn't pay a prostitute while you guys were together and was happy to share that information in front of your face. No, that was a joke. Don't get that was a joke. But for real, I don't think it's a normal situation.
That no.
It's not normal.
What just happened? No, definitely not. It just didn't, for my reasons, just didn't work. Things sometimes just run their course, and sometimes people are just better off not being romantically involved on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes they're better off just being friends.
From a distance too.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like that. And like I think it takes a certain type of maturity and like, not even status of life, but just a certain type of person to get to that point. Because it's never really happened with me before. So the fact that it's even gotten to this point for me is cool. So like I wouldn't be mad at that possibility of doing that because I could just talk to her freely. Like we're actually better off doing this, not being in a relationship.
I don't believe you, Jonte.
But that I will tell you, that is rare. What I just explained was rare because there's very few people outside of maybe one person that I've dated that could happen. Because most of us just don't. We just cut each other off. We do everything everybody else does. It wasn't going from being best friends to strangers. It's very rare what I just explained. Like what I just experienced was not a typical thing.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I was once you. You understand? That doesn't work. It doesn't work.
No, usually it doesn't work. No, I'm saying, could it happen? Yes. Would it? I don't know. Seeing it through, like actually, whatever you're trying to do, like with the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, longevity.
But I'm talking about maybe just short term, one episode. Sure, I could talk to her, but like I'm not gonna every day coming in. Gotta be boundaries.
Yeah.
You gotta like set boundaries. So I don't. Like you really have to set boundaries. Like this is that.
And things get confused as something else, especially if somebody has a perception of you already. You could be just being helpful, but just the way that they view you, maybe you're nagging or you're this or you're annoying or you're pressed. No, it could be something else, but because they've got this thing about you, that's how they see things.
It's true. But like there's ways to be friends with people and still do business. Transparency is huge, and that's a big thing. So like, but it's hard to do. It's harder, easier to say than do. But that's fine. We should let's talk about what we're doing now, though. Where we're going.
What we are doing now. Wait, but I asked Jonte and Rhythm if they would have their ex-girlfriends on a podcast. Short answer.
Depends which one.
Depends which one. Interesting. But damn. So he thinks he's cape. It could happen. That's interesting. Anyway, I really did try only because I really thought it could happen. Otherwise, why would I, do that to myself or Why would we put each other in that position? We really thought we could be adults about it. And that just wasn't the case on both sides, in my opinion, my humble opinion. But what are we doing now? So, so what are we doing now? Recently, I put on Instagram, if you fuck with me, this little video because I have been reaching out to so many dope people or people that specifically I respect.
Right.
Like, it's not just anybody that I'm DMing. It's only people that I resonate with.
Right.
And I'm reaching out to them. I'm getting as far as getting their numbers. We're setting dates. And then as soon as it's time to come sit right here with me, MIA. And I'm not even upset with them. I don't blame them. But it does hurt my feelings. But that's what I've been trying to do in this time off. I've been trying to connect with some other people and then figuring out what's going on with this. And doing some fun stuff with Dame, but that's going to come out soon. We'll talk about it. But Dame's not been asleep. We've been like at the studio working.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yes. Yeah. How about you, Jonte? See, the people, they liked you.
Did they?
When Jonte was not here, they said, "Where's Jonte?" They missed Jonte and didn't care for the other people on the mics. Like you were. No, I'm not saying that as I'm saying you were a favorite.
I feel good about that.
Yeah, and I feel good that you're here.
Thank you.
See?
Y'all can't see, but this man's sporting all that hat. That is like iconic, low key.
Oh, yeah.
All that.
And I don't like what the shirt says.
Iconic theme song too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like that's one of the first things you think about when you think about all that, right? Like that crazy ass tune. Because it was like one of the longest intro songs, but it was good though, which is rare.
Yeah, they used to have hella rappers perform on Nickelodeon.
Correct. Didn't they have Busta Rhymes do Kel's intro?
They had
Coolio.
locks.
Coolio.
They had locks on there.
Coolio. Yeah,
They did?
They did have the locks.
Wow, that's
for the Nickelodeon
so interesting.
That's right, because they did have those shows. I'm so old, but I'm like remembering now. They had people come out and perform to them on stage.
Yeah, at the end of the show, right?
Yeah.
The Locks, though?
Yo,
Yeah,
they had
Locks.
some.
What songs is the Locks performing on all that?
I honestly got it. We got to YouTube.
Yeah, we do have to go back
I
and
want to
watch.
see what, but obviously whatever they did, they would have had to do like not even clean, a super clean version of what's happening with that.
Oh, for sure.
Like the Locks, especially. I fuck with the Locks.
I couldn't imagine something.
At least
to
we
learn
had
from
it.
you.
Yeah, at least we got.
100%.
At least we had the shit. Yeah, I hear that.
My dad used to say that all the time, but I think that's because he was going to prison and like losing everything and coming back out and doing it again. But I agree. Because if you did it once, you could do it again. It's just a matter of like time and place, circumstance, all that, everything, plays a role. Yeah.
Yeah, but we here.
We're here. So, so this podcast, has now been revived, but, I'm hungry. But the Joe Budden podcast will not be revived. The matter of fact, in the time that we've been gone, the Joe Budden podcast has separated, got back together, separated, and then Rory and Mal are now new Rory and Mal
Shout out to Rory and Mal, man.
on their own shows.
Yeah, they're really doing some creative shit.
So
I like it.
Can we talk? Okay, let's get into this.
Yeah.
And Rhythm, if you have 2 cents, go ahead, because I know you watch. When it first happened, I'm gonna be honest, I was a little. First, when I heard Mal step down because Joe told Rory, "Don't come take a break off," I was like, okay, I get it. You gotta let Joe know what role you guys play and how much strength or value you add to this podcast, what weight you carry. So I was like, good for the guys. Let them do that.
Facts.
Then these 2 other guys came on the pod and they're getting comfortable and they're showing they're sitting in Mal's chairs with the knees out. Don't be wearing shorts sitting in Mal's chair. I don't want to see knees. Yeah, but not in Mal's chair. Who do you think you are? I was upset. I thought it was disgusting how quick Joe put 2 other people next to him.
Ice's fits were kind of nasty. A lot of people gave him.
I don't even care about that kind of stuff, but yeah.
But like people were like, "Yo, those fits are wild."
He was wearing real basketball shorts, right? Yeah.
I mean, I'm with it because I feel that vibe. Like in LA, like it's hot, dog.
They're not in LA.
I know. But for me, that's why I'm gonna say for me, it's hot. But like for him, I'm like, All the time.
Yeah.
Shorts.
That's lazy. I used to date a man, and I used to get dressed normal, but every time we went out, sweats. That's what that reminds me of. That's like no effort into yourself. But let me chill. But yeah, I am very glad that the boys, they proved something to themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that they're proving something to us who believed in them and the people who feel like maybe their balls got a little too big. I'm glad that they're doing what they're doing now. Like this morning, you and I listened to their new episode with Westside Boogie and 𝗛𝗏. I'm so jealous.
It's also
of
another
that.
gentleman there. I can't remember his name, dog.
Justice.
He's He's tied too.
I don't know what he does, but I'm guessing he's an
He
A&R.
works with
He's
Westside
helping-
Boogie.
Yeah, I realized that in the conversation, but I've heard his name many
too.
times before.
Me too. I just don't know exactly what
his
he does,
role
and I
is, yeah.
apologize.
I don't know what he does,
But like I enjoyed what he was saying though. It was dope.
but I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
And I have not listened to the Joe Budden podcast since the guys left. Have you?
I'm gonna be honest. As soon as that happened, like the fact of the matter is, once that happened, I realized all transparency went out the window. So everybody had kind of.
And how many times they said transparency when they were doing the episodes after the fact, after the guys left? Everything was
crazy.
transparent. It was a joke.
Anybody who wasn't listening to the Joe Budden podcast for like past couple of years know Joe's went on plenty of rants about how he hated people, aka Eminem, whoever, about how he hates the fact that people move. Like once they get on, they don't bring their people on. Joe got on for whatever reason. Apparently that didn't happen. According to Rory and Mal, that did not happen. So for me, that was an automatic turnoff. I was like, I gotta see what is happening. So I had to do research, and I was looking. I was on Reddit every day, but I wasn't watching the podcast because I knew I was gonna get a bunch of elongated bullshit about what was happening. So I just went straight to the Reddit, and Reddit always gives people uncut, unfiltered BS most of the time.
Yeah, they read everything.
They read everything and they watch everything.
It's like unbiased in a way. I feel like they're just giving you like what it is.
Most of the times, because a lot of people on there don't like they have like attachment, but they also can step back and be like,
they have nothing to gain from picking a side.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember the Joe Budden what did they call it? Joe Budden podcast. What is it? Intern program?
The mentorship program. But who is this man mentoring?
But who was he mentoring?
You
know, SaVon took a 2 hours out of his day. One day we sat in this chair to do the podcast, and a Drake song came on, and I got upset, and there was no recording the podcast after that. But I'm serious.
Wait, is that what you guys were talking about?
No,
before?
that did happen one day. It did.
I think you guys were talking about that in that first meeting. I was like, a Drake song?
This is so bad, right?
Drake?
But it wasn't just the Drake song. That's the problem. It was so much more. But I went home, and SaVon picked the name of this podcast.
What?
I sent SaVon 2 names. I forgot what the other. I think the other one was Nothing's Concrete. Remember? Yeah, you were in those. Maybe you don't remember, but those are the 2. Nothing's Concrete and Hear Me Out. He picked this name.
Yeah, it's a better name.
So he's been invested like I don't know in what way to explain it. He's been giving advice.
Yeah.
Like anytime I have a problem, I call this man. He we get on a call. He gives me what I need. One day we left. I'm on the phone, to be honest, complaining and crying to SaVon about what had just happened here.
Right.
He's like, if you want, get these other 2 gentlemen that are on your podcast on the phone. I'll sit with you guys. I'll talk with you. We'll hammer it out. We'll whatever it is, iron it out. 2 hours on the phone, and he's giving us nothing but advice, telling us how to move. He gave me, because to give the other 2 gentlemen credit, SaVon put a lot on me because I'm the leader. Even though I tried to be so fair and not have me play that role, it's like it's inevitable. That's what he was telling me. But yeah, how do you get on a call with someone who made the dopest hip hop podcast that there is? He's made the biggest one. He's there. He has his hand in everything. He's giving us advice, and this is where we are. And shout out to fucking SaVon because he has a new fucking media company.
SaVon the Don, man.
Need to know media.
SaVon the Don.
And like I told him, he's in a unique fucking position. No one else has done what he's done. No one else has been privy to the shit that he's heard and seen. He isn't. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Shout out to the SaVon mentorship program. High key. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, man.
And
Shout out to him.
It's so dirty that Mal and Rory straight up said Joe is fraud on the last podcast.
You know what?
It was
when
so
I
blatant.
think about it, like Joe, a lot of if you look back, people on Reddit did this too. Like they look back and they parsed a lot of these clips, and like he was alluding to a lot of the shit that he's doing now, but it just seemed like jokes. It was funny because we actually thought that was part of the shtick, you know? Like it was funny, like they
That's a
would,
great word for it.
you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like they were faking. I'm not saying they were faking, but like you thought it was just them joking around because a lot of it was three
We
friends
thought they were all inside jokes.
getting to a certain place, inside jokes, fucking around, and that was what made it funny. But like a lot of that shit, from what they're saying, is it turned up true. Like in their last video they just put out, and you were saying like how it's not like a normal.
Yeah, if I felt like it cut
Yeah.
off random.
But I
31
kind of
minutes.
like that. Like you just have
I
people in
needed
a
more
room.
though.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
really did.
People talking in a room, whatever. They're out in LA. They're free agents. They can do what they want, which I also think is dope. Because I'm sure they've also been wanting to go LA a lot. But Joe, if you can tell over the years, has been like, I don't really. Like Joe was always kind of like, I don't know about LA. He was
thought
here
it
and there,
was
hot
Mal.
and cold. No. Joe was hot and cold about it. Mal was like, no, Joe was on Mal because Joe is just like Joe, whatever.
Because Mal is as a
Yeah.
Kardashian.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Mal with Trev. You know,
But yeah, that was
TA.
a joke.
That was a
running
joke, you know. But like they were out just in the studio talking with, people that I
Yeah.
haven't seen in a while that haven't been outside, like Earl Sweatshirt, who is
Yeah.
dope as
Who
fuck.
is super vocal.
Super
on that
vocal, super
podcast.
dope,
He's
but
talking
also
a
knows how
lot.
to duck off from everything and just
Mhm.
kind of, play his part. Westside Boogie, who I can't believe you just recently
Yeah.
got onto, which I'm
Yeah.
actually really excited for you because I
Yeah.
fuck with Boogie Tough. I know Jonte fucks with Boogie
Yeah,
Tough.
I'm a big fan of Boogie. Boogie's hard.
Me
He's
too.
hard
No,
as
how
fuck.
come nobody's? I only blame you guys.
I just recently really met you, so it can't be. You gotta look.
I'm upset though. How you
Somebody
put me on Blue Bucks Clan before you put me onto Westside Boogie? I want to know.
You put me on the Blue Bucks Clan.
And
That was the first artist.
Oh, so that's funny.
That's
But no, I'm emotional. That guy is so. Everything is so emotionally
Yeah.
driven in his right.
Yeah,
The guy is fucking deep.
he's the real deal.
Like I don't know if you want to consider him a mood rapper. I asked this before, but it's all emotion,
he can rap,
and
though.
I love it.
I wouldn't consider it mood
Oh.
music, but I feel like it's very introspective.
Yeah, he can
It's
rap.
more
Oh, that's a great- okay.
introspective than
Yeah.
a lot of music that comes out. It's
Yeah.
like, and that makes it like honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I rock with
He's
it.
got a lot of the honesty that like a lot of the great rappers that we like, but he's also like can rap though. Like he can really.
And he's talking his shit too. He's
Yeah.
not. He's
he
not.
doesn't sound like nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't find a comparison for him. I don't know. If
You're
you-
right about that.
I really like when I'm saying think about it. Like he doesn't sound like a lot of people. Not even that crew, but like just associated with him. Like I can't think about people that
from
sound like him.
West Side LA
Yeah.
do not sound like him at all. No,
Oh.
he does stand out.
Oh,
Because there's a lot you can compare to Draco and Blue Bucks Clan and people
they're
that.
dope.
Yeah,
But like
that vein, but
yeah.
he's not in there.
he really isn't. But all of his projects, I haven't found something I haven't liked. And like his latest album was just for me like
Yeah.
chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Like I was when that came out that year, 2 years ago. I think that was the best project I heard that whole year.
What is it? Nothing for sale, right? Everything's for sale. Yeah. I can't lie. Boogie's been on repeat
What's-
since that cipher that
Yeah.
he dropped with BET. That's when I seen his cipher. I'm like, what is
yeah,
this?
I mean he's even got legends on the album. Like
Yeah?
yeah. I mean he's done songs with people that I respect. Like he's done songs like DJ Quick and Mozzie. Like
I
he-
saw that.
yeah, he's done songs with people that like are really
And the
Where's
Eminem
West
connection is so interesting to me. I don't know what it is, but I find that so intriguing. I think it has to do with his rapping style, to be honest. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so good.
I was thinking about that this